Hello, everybody. So I'm excited. I just got these in. I went ahead and ordered two of the quints. I did not need any, but I had to have these. So I went with Lunar Nightshade, and I went with Bordeaux Bliss. And I am so ecstatic because I'm drawn to this color story. I've noticed. I don't know why, but I just am. But I think out of all of the quints, this is the one that really captivated my attention the most because it is just exquisitely beautiful in every aspect. But we are going to dive into, I mean, look at that shift. Oh, that actually kind of reminds me of Corrupt Copper a little bit, kind of. But I am actually going to go ahead and dive into the Bordeaux Bliss. There's a lot of tutorials on this. I am currently in the process of recording tutorials for the Utopian Dream palette focus, Naked 3, Urban Decay, and the Vice palette by Urban Decay also. So, with the holiday here, I figured I'd go ahead and dip into this. But I'm going to do as many looks as I can with this palette, and I will do as many looks as I can with the Lunar Nightshade palette as well. So there will be quite a few tutorials. I don't know if I want to do a one and done type of feel with this, but for the first look, I have an idea in mind. So let me go and prep my eyes with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Eyeshadow Primer, and then we'll get right into this tutorial. All right, so the eyes are prepped, and I'm hoping they are going to be, they'll be sisters. They'll be closely related. So I think for the first shade, I really want to dive into Platinum Rosewater as the base. Ooh, this is like a, it's like a pale pink. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Putting this all over the lid and whatever's left over up into the brow bone, basically. Oh, this is gorgeous. If you just want like this and a good wing, yazan, yazan. But oh, I kind of want to buy another one of this, but I don't need to do that. Maybe we'll see. Maybe for Black Friday. But I'm gonna keep this first look very simple. I have an idea. We'll see. I might use this as a highlighter. Maybe. Maybe. But perfect. So that is done. That is down. That was easy. That was beautiful. That was a moment. So the next shade I want to go into is going to be Mauve Mystique. And I'm gonna run that into the crease. Do I run that? Is that where? Yeah, crease of my eye, but very lightly. Very, very lightly. And of course, this one is matte, but yet with some shimmer in it. Beautiful. Is it just a whisper? Very, very ever so gently. Oh, this is beautiful. Even the shade is very beautiful. And I know with these, they are buildable as far as pigment, so I'm just keeping it very simple for right now. Stamp it on and just go ahead and blend it in. Stamp it on and then blend it in. Perfect. Ooh, this is gorgeous. This is very, very gorgeous. I don't know, it's just something about these mauve shades I'm always drawn to. And I know I have many, many palettes with this type of color story, so I'm just drawn to it. Oh, this is beautiful. This is a very, very beautiful shade. Going in with a bigger, fluffier brush just to go ahead and diffuse everything. I think this is actually a concealer brush from IT Cosmetics that I got while I was a prestige manager at Ulta back in the day, back in my prime. Perfect. That is actually really, this is very romantic type of a palette, especially great for the holidays. Oh, that is beautiful. I love that. That is gorgeous. Now, with a liner brush, I'm gonna go in with the Ruby Noir. Ruby Noir. So the Ruby Noir, actually was looking at it compared to the Black Amethyst. They are pretty similar, but this has a little bit more ruby specks, and the black amethyst, smoked amethyst, I think, from the Metamorphosis, Subversive Metamorphosis Mothership Mini 6-pan eyeshadow palette. That one has more amethyst specks in it. So that was like the biggest difference. I have not swatched them together or next to each other yet, but I do want to do that one day. But I'm going in with a liner brush and just begin to add my wing with this. There was also another noir that was also very beautiful. Noir Moon from the Celestial Odyssey palette, Mothership palette. That was also very beautiful. I love that. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is... I mean, look at how romantic that is. That is just so beautiful. And I feel like when you start to blend it out, which I want to do, it's going to give a very more matte aspect to this. See, these quints are just such a beautiful addition to the whole line of Pat McGrath, in my opinion. Because we have palettes, the Mothership palettes, we have quads. So, I mean, to have a quint is actually really smart on the behalf of the team at Pat McGrath, because now you have quite a few different ways you could be introduced to the brand, and you have quite a few different ways you could really curate your own big palette if you wanted to, in a sense. But these quints are exquisite. So I have the holiday quints from last year, from 2022. Have not touched them yet. I don't think, I've only swatched them maybe once. So I am forcing myself to dive into these now. And then also maybe do a conjunction of this one combined with the Nude Allure, and then even the Lunar Nightshade, maybe combined with the Bronze Bliss. Is that what it was called? Bronze Ecstasy palette, Bronze Bliss. The bronze one from last year. I was thinking of maybe combining those two, because those could really create some beautiful shades. But let me go ahead and continue this, do this as a liner, and then we will be back and we'll see where we are at. All right, so we are back. This is where we are at. This Ruby Noir is such a beautiful shade. This is definitely one of my favorites. Like, until I start playing with Lunar Nightshade, I think as of right now, this is definitely a must-have for me, in my personal opinion. If you want a really good smoky colored palette, I think this is a great start, because this you could really add into the color story of Rose Decadence. You could add into the color story of the Passion Floor that was recently released for spring. Like, this is such a beautiful palette, in my personal opinion, and I am really excited to create more tutorials and looks with this. So I want to see the type of variety we could really get with this. But like I said, I'm a sucker for these color stories, and I don't know why, and I'm always drawn to it. Rose Decadence, Divine Rose 2, Utopian Dream has stuff a little bit kind of like this, which reminds me of, so yeah. But like, it just goes on so seamlessly. Oh, I die. And I think with this look, I am going to dive into last year's Nude Venus 2 blush, because I do think that this will really complement this. I mean, even this up, blended out, and then just use the Ruby Noir all over the lid for a smoky moment. That might be the next video. Let me do the rest of my face, and we will see the final look. I think I'm going to continue with this being a full face of Pat McGrath. So I will use the Pat McGrath foundation, concealer, the powder. Obviously no brow products from Pat McGrath, so I will still continue to use my Becca. And then you guys will see the final look in a moment. So this is the final look, Bordeaux Bliss. Now I'm just gonna add a little bit more Nude Venus on the cheeks because I do think this blush is really complementing this color story a lot. So I want to buy another one of these. I'm not gonna lie. This is just such a beautiful color story. Right up my alley. What shades do I have on? I have on Platinum Rose Water. I actually have that on as blush as well. The Platinum Rose Water, which is going to be this first shade. I have this Mystique, Mauve Mystique in the crease, and Ruby Noir. And I went ahead and did the Extreme Permagel liner in Extreme Black on the bottom, just to give it more smoke with the Ruby Noir on the bottom as well. Lips, I'm going to keep my natural lip color, but I'm going to go ahead and put on the Opulous lip gloss and Pale Fire Nectar. I mean, I might buy another one. I just might. I may or may not. I don't need to. Cyrus, you don't need another one. But yeah. LM14 for foundation. Yeah, this is just right up my alley. Like I said, I'm very, very excited to really dive more into this because I do. Oh, that Platinum Rosewater is like such an icy, cool tone, neutral type of pink. And it's just so, oh, even like I said, even as a highlighter, it is beautiful. I might buy another one. Tutorial number 1 of the Bordeaux Bliss Quint. If you guys have this one, I highly suggest to dive into it. If you want a smoky night, oh, here's one tutorial down. Because like I said, the next one will be the Lunar Nightshade will be the next focus. I mean, that mixed with this would be really nice too. But the Nude Venus too, gorgeous combination. I think the next tutorial I want to do a very smoky look, but have the Ruby Noir all over the lid and just blow it out. Just really blend that out and have the Nude Venus too and first and just really have that really moment, that smoky moment. So look number 1 tutorial. Like I really am digging this a lot. Texture. Like I said, natural lighting. I have this one ring light here, so this is without the ring light, so this is natural lighting. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. We have quite a few more tutorials to go through with this one. I don't know, I want the Bronze Ecstasy as well, but I kind of feel like that color story I do have, and I just want it for those two mattes in there. Like one's almost like a gray taupe type of matte, and the other one's almost like a plum taupe or plum type of matte, which I really, really love. But I'm just like, I don't know, I need to stop. I really need to stop. But I love this. I really am loving this look. So as usual, if you want to see the final edits of the look, go to my Instagram page. And I hope you guys are enjoying these series. Many more tutorials. Palette focus, quints focus, quads focus coming in 2024. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy those. I have quite a few motherships that I really want to dive into. I'm currently, like I said, I'm currently in the middle of recording tutorials for Utopian Dream. Beautiful palette. After creating quite a few looks and really seeing where those hues come in with those astral shades really changes the whole palette story for me. Subliminal, already did Subversive palette focus, and that palette is still my favorite palette from Pat McGrath. I would have to say Subversive and the Subversive La Vie en Rose mini mothership as well. Those two in conjunction with each other. The Nocturnal Nirvana quad as well. Oh. Any of the Subversive palettes storylines within Pat McGrath, I think, is really true to her artistry and color stories and stuff like this. And I feel like these are more towards gearing more towards everybody, the whole general public, getting more people into the brand and stuff like that. So I mean, quite a few different ways you could reintroduce to the brand, and the brand has been around for quite some time. So I think Pat McGrath brand is no stranger to anybody now. I think it is very mass produced at this point. But yeah, I really love doing these even for myself, because I'm really diving more into these color stories and what you could really create with her quads, her quints, her palettes, even her face palettes, of how very from runway literally to everyday life. And it just, I think it's also the name Pat McGrath. Like when you wear Pat McGrath, it really gives you that, I'm wearing Pat McGrath and I feel like a model right now. Like, who is she? Who is she? So yeah, I will see you guys next tutorial. And just another close up. This color story really brings out the brown in my eyes. Oh, I love it. I love it. Love it. Could you imagine Purple Rain with this quad? Quint? I might have to do that. Bye.